Welcome back, everybody. This is Kristen Marie, certified sex therapist. Welcome back to our Sex Myth series, where every week we are taking down one annoying sex myth after another. Together we will discover what the real truth is. Alrighty, so this week's myth is, if sex is painful, just push through because it will get better. I've been really excited to get to this myth. This week we are going to focus on female sexual pain and some of the terms that are used there. There will be another myth coming along that has to do more with male sexual pain, and so let's get right to it. So let me first start with, no, this is a myth. If sex hurts, stop. Okay, so the umbrella term that I'm going to use is dyspareunia. That is the umbrella term for sexual pain. But like I was saying before, there are so many different terms, so we're going to briefly go over some of those. The official term is genital pelvic pain and penetration disorder. It used to be known as vaginismus. There is also just pelvic pain, genital pain, sexual pain. So unless I specify otherwise, I'm going to be referring to sexual pain with the umbrella term of dyspareunia. Okay, so this condition is one that for at least 6 months a person experiences persistent or recurrent difficulties in the sexual arena, particularly regarding vaginal penetration, manifested in at least one of the following. One, actual pain experienced in the genital area, intense fear in anticipation of or during intercourse or sexual activity, and the third option is marked tensing or tightening of the lower pelvic or abdominal muscles during attempted intromission. And I think it goes without saying, but this condition is incredibly distressing to the female that might be experiencing this. It is also incredibly impactful on any relationship that she might be in. And I do know one common theme with almost every one of my female clients that experiences dyspareunia is that there's a constant feeling of isolation and helplessness and feeling as if they are the only ones going through this. And it can be really liberating to know that they are certainly not the only ones going through this. And not only that, but there is also treatment, and there is some hope for what they have been going through. And the pain is broken down into two categories of acute or chronic. And it's really interesting because it can show up either right when someone starts becoming sexually active, or it can begin after a period of already having had some really healthy and pleasurable sexual activity. So acute is shorter term and likely due to injury to the tissue, and chronic is much more long term, can stay around for days, months, and years for many of these women that experience the chronic dyspareunia. All right, so a little bit more about the symptoms. Pain can be related to nerves, muscles, tissue, skin, or some others depending on the condition. So if the pain is related to nerve damage, it's likely that it has to do with the pudendal nerve, which connects to the external genitalia to the brain. If the pain is originating from muscles or tissue damage, it's very likely that it's due to hormonal changes. They can contribute heavily to decreased estrogen and testosterone, leading to the thinning of the vaginal and vulvar tissue. This contributes to skin irritation, leading to dryness, potential tearing, and quite a bit of discomfort. A common area impacted by this hormonal change is the entrance to the vagina. Increasing research is coming out more and more about the impact, for example, of oral contraceptives and how much they can impact hormonal levels, contributing to pain upon intromission for so many women. Another area that falls under the muscle and tissue category are the muscles around the vagina, anus, and bladder. They can spasm, causing quite a bit of pain upon entrance to the vagina. This impacts pain at intromission and makes intercourse incredibly painful and incredibly difficult for these women. Okay, so if the source of the pain has to do with skin, Some skin conditions in the genital area can lead to increased dryness and scarring and even some erosion. And I'm certainly not listing them all, but a few others that could cause some dyspareunia for women are some gastrointestinal conditions can cause sexual pain, infections such as STIs, trichomoniasis, and yeast infections can cause pain. And it's interesting because most women believe that an infection is the source of their sexual pain, when it's actually quite rare that that there's an infection causing them the level of pain that they are experiencing. But we will get to checking with a medical provider here in just a little bit. Okay, so a really brief list of some potential causes for dyspareunia. Medications is a huge one. For example, birth control, like we were saying, the oral contraceptives that can impact hormone levels, chronic use of antibiotics, infertility treatment, endometriosis, and acne medications can all contribute to conditions that lead to pain. Some women can also experience pain after childbirth, which we'll talk about in just a little bit as well. Obviously, sexual violence can be not only very emotionally painful, but physically painful, not only during the assault, but can also be experienced long after the assault takes place. And then there are just some biological and genetic factors that could be at play, leading to the woman experiencing the pain such as she is. One of the most difficult things that these women go through has to do with seeking treatment.